Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Cubica AMF Tech Tip Podcast. This is a weekly podcast where we take you on a journey through the fascinating world of bowling technology and beyond. My name is Orly and I am the host here. And as always, I have a great co-host, one of my favorite co-hosts. We have Charles Craig on the show. Charles, how are you doing today?
Great, Orly. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks again for coming on the show, Charles. I know I'm always hunting you down and you're a busy guy, but you always take the time to come over here and help us. So I definitely appreciate that.
Always happy to work with you guys.
And Charles, again, I know I do this every show, but sometimes we have new listeners. Can you let everyone know a little bit about, what you do with Cubic AMF?
Yeah, of course. I am with the Cubica AMF Max training team. I am the person that comes on site after a purchase or an upgrade and helps you get familiar with the new products and learn how to utilize them in the best ways.
All right. And Charles, what I kind of want to talk about today was one of my favorite products is the kiosk. So what I want to kind of cover today, or have you cover, is just kind of some basic kiosk maintenance. Maybe, talking about the best way to clean it, maybe changing out receipt paper, when you should maybe like restart it. Every once in a while, I know I'm probably not the best person when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'll let my computer, like something will happen, somebody's like, have you reset it lately? I haven't reset it in probably 3 months. So I know sometimes it's best to reset things just to kind of, let it, clean up a little bit. So yeah, if you just want to kind of take it away and talk about any of those topics for us.
Yeah, of course. So two of the things that honestly, the three things you'll encounter the most, like you had said, are keeping the kiosk clean, replacing your paper, as that's probably the biggest consumable thing in the kiosk if you're printing receipts, and then also just doing reboots. Um, just like everything else in a bowling center, from your arcade to your front desk to your snack bar, it's all computers. And a daily or a weekly reboot is just great for maintenance and can help things run a little bit longer for you. The first one for any of our kiosk customers, they are very well accustomed to our Q portal. In your Q portal, down under that tools and features section, you have a button there for kiosk utilities. All you have to do in there is select the kiosk that you want to reboot, and there's a button in there for restart. You also have a button in there for shutdown, for maybe if you're out of the center for extended periods, maybe for a week long shutdown or something. And then a wake up button that just brings the kiosk back online.
Okay.
Like any computers, I would say with kiosk, probably a weekly reboot is going to be best for just health and longevity of the device. That is going to be a center decision, but I would say weekly is probably great. And talking about paper in your kiosk with it being, a very smart device, as long as you have the urgent tasks set up in Conqueror, so like things that you would get for like lane orders or picture validation. One of the things the kiosk can do for you is if it's running low on paper, if it's out of paper, or if there's a printer error, it will actually call the front desk and tell you using that urgent task bell that what kiosk is having a problem and what it's having a problem with. So instead of having to run around and check paper levels on everything, Conqueror will actually tell you kiosk 2 is low on paper.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
So that's something that'll help kind of, ease your mind a little bit. It's not one thing that you have to do is check paper levels every morning. When it's having a problem or it needs some attention, it'll actually reach out to you and tell you. The last option, really, that we're going to talk about today is cleaning kiosks. Living in a post-COVID world or a still current COVID world, no matter how however you look at it, safety and cleanliness are huge things. With any sort of electronics, I always recommend power it down first. We don't want something energized while we're, working with it, especially if it involves fluids. So I say turn it off. If you can, even disconnect the power from it for a minute. Use a clean microfiber cloth and then if you can, like a 70% isopropyl alcohol solution, just barely damp that cloth with it just by spraying it onto the surface of the cloth. Um, Wipe everything down very gently. I usually say kind of follow one motion, just go top to bottom. Don't buff the surface of it, but just kind of wipe carefully and let everything air dry, and then go ahead and power it back up.
I give the teens a hard time. When I was working in the center, they like to just grab anything and start spraying it and wiping things down, whether it's window cleaner on a table or, and it's kind of like, guys, pay attention to what you're using. But when it comes to a product like this, you just don't want to spray anything on it. So this is good advice, obviously, for center managers to let their staff know. And I know it's not every teen, it could be any age, but I just kind of like to pick on the teens sometimes because they sometimes don't care and will grab anything.
Yeah, of course. You have to be really careful because a lot of cleaners that may be bleach or ammonia based, one, they don't work well together. But two, they have a lot of detergents, and sometimes they even have some abrasives in them that could do damage. So uh, the same kind of cleaning rules will apply to your Super Touch consoles and to your front desk touchscreens, your POS touchscreens. Um, Always spray onto a cloth, never spray directly onto a screen. The moisture could get inside the device and do damage. And don't really put your shoulders into it, buff something. Always be kind of gentle with it. Some of the cleaning that you may be able to do for a kiosk, just handprints, fingerprints. You may not even need any sort of liquid. You could probably just use the microfiber and just wipe everything off.
Great information, Charles. And as always, I appreciate you coming on the show, like I mentioned earlier, because I know we're all busy. But yeah, great show. Great tips for everyone that has a kiosk. And if you don't have a kiosk and want more information on that, make sure to check it out. They're a great item. Pretty excited about them. So until next time, everyone, thank you for listening. If you're new to the show, make sure to go back and listen to past shows. There's so much information that we've been sharing. Share it with your staff, share it with your friends, share it with other bowling centers. And until next time, we'll talk to everyone soon.